I actually like that. You never really hear me saying, I think the bass is at the correct volume. I kind of think it is for this part. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Low End University. Blue Times 2 is from AVAIL's sixth studio album, Front Porch Stories, released in 2002 on Fat Records, and it was actually the band's final album, despite reading here that the band has never officially disbanded. I've had a good deal of requests for AVAIL from our patrons over at patreon.com/lowenduniversity, and quite a few here on YouTube as well, especially from this guy. Shout out to you, my friend. In the words of Pennywise's Bro Hymn, this one's for you. Without further ado, I'm going to check out melodic hardcore band AVAIL with their track Blue Times 2.
Right into it.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Bass chords. The separation between the notes is kind of buried, not like in a volume way, but it just blends really well with drums and guitar. You can hear those kind of glassy, clean bass chords happening in the background, but you don't hear a lot of that separation, so it just kind of almost sounds like strings or something in terms of the articulation. Just smooth. You can hear it moving around. That's a good layer and a good texture, despite the bass actually being pretty audible. Hope that makes sense, but I hear some classic open string double stops happening with higher fretted notes. The chord progression is kind of D, A, and G, and it's really advantageous when you're a bass player and you have a song in the key that uses E, A, D, or G, because then you can use the open string and still have that bass note represented, so the low end doesn't go away, but then you can play it open and come up here and do basically what he's doing there. But you're not losing that bottom fundamental bass note, so it can give a lot more dimension to your part to put chords in. That's kind of a cool intro. I'm reading the bassist's name is Justin Burdick, and he goes by Gwomper. Very interesting. I got the name written down this time. I'm going to go back and hear that again, because even before that started, bass had a nice gritty driving tone. Okay. Wasn't expecting bass chords. Okay, same thing. D major. Just kind of doing some melodies on the top string and just kind of droning that open D. Probably with a pick where you can kind of strum those two a bit better. Move it down a fourth, do the same thing with the open A and then notes on the D string. You know, whatever. But it's a cool texture, and I was about to say I wish it was a bit louder, but you might hear just too much noise coming from that bass part, whereas the volume it's mixed at, it actually is a nice texture. I don't know, it really fills that riff up in that space. So really cool. I want to hear it one more time. As I always say, I don't know if these intros and things come back ever. It happens to me a lot. Let me hear it again. Cool way to start the song. Can't hear the bottom note there. Okay, see where this goes. I was about to jump in and just start playing straight eights. It sounded like the bass was kind of simplifying here, you know. That kind of thing, which is very energetic. But I actually kind of like this part here back in the verse The way they broke up that rhythm, it's a very driving quarter note based rhythm. Lots of energy, kind of fast tempo, but they're kind of going, they're using syncopation, or I'd just say subdivision as a better word, on the downbeats. So dun 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 dun. And normally when you hear that kind of subdivision breakup in a riff, artists typically tend to use that more in a syncopated, upbeat way, just to kind of give it some subdivision, I guess. I would normally hear that riff kind of like dun 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 with some upbeat play, right? It's kind of cool that they're simplifying it even more and just putting everything based around the downbeat. So you have dun 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 dun. It just drives it even more and doesn't disrupt your head bobbing. You can really bob, and all the hits line up with your head bob. So it's good driving groove. Bass simplified here, and I hear him kind of venturing out on this second repeat. Start right here. Cool. Talk about this a lot too. You take one song section, keep the bass simple, and then if it repeats right next to it, adjacent in the same part of the song, the only thing you can change is just the bass part. Give it more movement. It builds energy. It gives direction to the song. It gives pacing to the song. It's exactly what happened here. First part's really basic, what I was playing. And then he started adding some movement, which is sort of like a callback to what was going on in the intro, except more appropriate to where we are in the song now, down an octave. So earlier he was up here, you know. So instead of taking that chordal approach, he's just using the single notes lower on that melody. So you know, whatever. So starting to gurgle. It's my favorite term for bass now, the gurgle. Gluing two chords together with some passing tones, demonstrated really beautifully here. Cool. All right. Same rhythm. Very nice. Okay, right before it gets to that, I wanted to comment on the fact that I really like the vocals. I don't know if I've listened to a lot of melodic hardcore. Sometimes, you know, these genres, I don't want to read too much into them. Like, I feel like I have, but the compliment I wanted to give to the vocals here is that he has a clean voice that was really melodic earlier, and it sounds like he just dials in the distortion on it, but he doesn't sound like a different singer. Whereas you have some bands that I feel like are in the melodic hardcore vein where they have the clean sound, then it sounds like another singer comes in because they get really harsh, and it's kind of more binary, if you will. So I like that it still sounds like the same vocalist, just kind of playing with the gradient of the intensity of the voice. And just in general, the vocal tone's really good. I like the sound of the vocals. So I wanted to say that too. This next part sounded like it had a key change. Let's see. Oh, it's the intro. It came back. Okay, good. Kind of wonder what he's going to on the G chord, because we have the open D. Oop, turn my volume down. if he's going to actually a fretted G. Something like that, because we don't have an open G with notes above it. Could obviously kind of be going like this. But you'd have to kind of flip it in reverse. I don't know. I kind of like that I can't figure out the intricacies there. The bassist just kind of mix at a volume that fills out the song, is a texture, but isn't quite the lead part. It's not like they want you to hear it as a bass solo or anything. It's just a chordal bass part. I actually like that. You never really hear me saying, I think the bass is at the correct volume. I kind of think it is for this part. Let's play it out. Cool song. Cool. Driving. See, the vocals have it's got a cleanness to it. I like the sound of those vocals. Very nice. Blue times 2. So I definitely had a feeling AVAIL was part of the punk scene in some way. I'm reading melodic hardcore. I'm sure it's all one and the same. Again, I'm not trying to get too caught up on genres, but that sounds akin to a lot of other bands I've done on the channel that I really liked. That was a really well-rounded song. Really simplistic. G, A, and D. Kind of 3-chord truth. But the bass is what kind of took it to the next level and gave it its depth. Bassist Gwomper went through multiple modes of bass playing. Classic, gritty, pick driving tone that just kind of puts a smile on your face. The sections where the vocals stopped opened up with these chordal parts. And again, I like that it wasn't mixed in a way that's like, here's a bass solo. It was the same volume as everything else. You just heard kind of the texture of the song change with those double stops, open ringing strings. And then to drive home different choruses and verses, kind of took that chordal part played in the intro, put it down an octave, and played those melodies under everything else. Just a really well-rounded bass part in a simplistic song. Very nice. I like these guys. AVAIL. Again, not officially disbanded, but their last album was 22 years ago. Maybe they're taking the Tool approach. I really don't know. But thank you guys for requesting AVAIL. As I said, come find us on Patreon if you'd like to support the channel further. I do full album reactions and have lots of bass lessons and much more. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe while you're here. It really helps the channel out. I love you all. We'll see you next time.